DiscrimiNAT is an egress filtering firewall that replaces your NAT gateways and has a few advantages. It's incredibly easy to use. It uses the cloud APIs so it doesn't have its own interface. It allows you to set policies in GCP firewall rules so you can be incredibly specific on what gets what access. DiscrimiNAT also has a couple of unique advantages. It has unparalleled DNS handling. No more SNI spoofing or false positives. It has a see-through mode, so you can gather information on what URLs are accessed before turning the rules on, so you can do so with confidence. Let's take a look at it running. Here we have a couple of instances running. Both of these instances are in the same network, but require different rules for their apps to function. Let's look at how we do this. Each machine has its own firewall rule. This is where we'll put our rules. First, on machine 1, we'll prove it can't get to api.github.com. There we are, it has no access. Let's change that. I'll now put in discriminat://tls:/api.github.com in the description. It'll take about a minute for DiscrimiNAT to pick that up from the firewall rule. And there, now we can curl it. But that's not all. The machine also needs access to an S3 bucket. Let's see if it can access it. No, it can't, so let's put that in too, spacing with a comma. And there we are. If you hit the character limit in the firewall rule, you can always add a second rule. So let's look at the second machine. Can this access api.github.com? No, it can't, because a rule only applies to assets that have the firewall rule applied. However, this machine needs to contact graph.facebook.com to work, so let's add that. And now it works. DiscrimiNAT also works with SSH connections. If you look here, you can see that github.com is allowed, but GitLab isn't. So let's try them both. So let's take a look at this in the logs. As DiscrimiNAT uses cloud APIs, that is of course in cloud logging. Here we can see allowed and disallowed traffic. There's also a log for config which shows when it's picked up new rules and any issues it's had. So you can see that configuring DiscrimiNAT is incredibly easy and fits straight into any infrastructure as code, as they'll be able to put descriptions of firewall rules in everything. As a bonus, let's see what I mean about unparalleled DNS handling. Let's go back to S3 buckets. S3 buckets, like a lot of CDNs, have incredibly short TTLs on their DNS records, and every machine asking for the records could get a very different answer. This is why a lot of egress filters don't do DNS well, or just look at the SNI and assume all is okay without sanity checks on the DNS. Not DiscrimiNAT. I will leave a curl running on this bucket, which will show a dot if successful and a cross if not. First, as the rule is not in place, we will see crosses. Then, as we put it in place and wait for the propagation, we'll see it turn into dots and stay as dots for as long as you like. Okay, so let's prove it's not just going to allow SNI spoofing. Going back to that first machine, let's curl api.github.com. It works, as you'd expect. Let's try SNI spoofing. The easiest way is to alter the host file, so let's do that. Now I'll try to curl it, and I'm blocked. DiscrimiNAT has picked up the mismatch in the DNS and blocked it. You can do SNI spoofing simply with a curl command, and when we try that, that's also blocked too. We report on spoofing in the logs for security people to pick up. All this proves that DiscrimiNAT is easy, focuses on least privilege, and is secure. If you have an egress filtering solution currently, try that curl command as a litmus test yourself. I'll leave a link in the description. If you want to see more information, like how our see-through mode works, take a look at our YouTube channel.